Welcome back, everybody! Got a great video for you today. We're going to unravel the mystery of HVAC ductwork. There's been mass confusion, and I'm going to show you in this video how things go together. So when you order your ductwork, it's going to come in two pieces, two halves. I got all mine from a local fabricator. Go in, you make an order, and the next day they have it ready for you. You go and you pick it up, and you bring it home and you put it together. So right here you can see that I'm just marking out where my supply runs need to connect to the main trunk. Got this handy little tool here that easily cuts out the circles of any size. And I do have a pair of gloves. I know, it's kind of scary, but I don't wear them very often, but I have a pair of gloves. And this HVAC ductwork, when you cut it, is like razor blade sharp. So these 90-degree turns that you see there, they're specially designed to go onto the trunk lines. They have these fingers. You can see them right there. So I reach into the hole and flip those fingers up so that it clamps it together around the hole and into the ductwork. It really is a pretty straightforward process. I think anybody can do it. All you need is some basic tools, a couple sawhorses, and a little bit of know-how, but you can teach yourself how to do it. Watch a couple YouTube videos. Once you get the right tools, it's pretty easy. So there's a little bit of a specialty tool. That's how you bend the sides of your trunk lines to receive a drive cleat. Now this one here, me trying to get the larger, is that a large? No, that is a 24 by 8 trunk line, by 8 feet long. And I used a couple different methods to get them up there. This one was pretty easy. So I'll just give you a quick shot of how I'm aligning this here. See, I've got the S on this one, and I have it suspended by this little thing I made here. If you've got a basement where you've got open joists like this, it's pretty easy. Should have shown you how I got it up there, but it's only got one screw in each corner. So as soon as I undo that one, this whole thing can flop down, and vice versa. I get it lined up, pin it to the ceiling, flop this whole thing and wrap it around, put the screw in, and now I've got the flexibility to get this lined up and get my drive cleats in. So here's a close-up of a drive cleat. These go on the sides. You can buy them in 5-foot sections, and these go on the sides. These are your drive cleats that go on the side. There is the S cleat. The S cleat goes on the top and the bottom. You can see that. So your one ductwork will go this way underneath, and one ductwork will overlap on the top side, and they will be stuck together. These drive cleats are the ones that really clamp it together. The S cleats just align and somewhat seal the top and the bottom. I also use the drive cleats for the hangers. Cut them 10 inches, fold one end an inch 90 degrees, screw it to a rafter or a joist, and then the bottom end will stick out 1 inch. You just smack that around underneath the ductwork and put a sheet metal screw in it. Right here you can see where one of the cold air returns is going. It's double-sided, so it's going to draw air from this hallway as well as the living room on the other side.
I made this one extra large. I used a vacuum cleaner and a carbide blade to cut through the plaster, which is about, ½ inch to 3/4 inch thick. And then once I got through the plaster, I switched blades to a wood cutting blade and zipped through the wood lath. It didn't take long and it didn't make much of a mess. I did have to move a little bit of the old electricity. This is me just disassembling the old light switch, and I got to pull it through the joists that I'm using as a cold air return. So you can make your joists suck cold air by putting some underpanning in place. You can see I'm pulling those out. You do have to seal the holes up, but just pulling it out so that it's not stuck in there. Quickly wiring it back up so that the light will still work while I'm working. Keep in mind, all the electricity down here is going to get ripped out and replaced. Hang it right over the door. So this is the cold air return that goes up inside that partition wall. This is not a load-bearing wall. As you can see, it's not even resting on a joist. This is the underpanning. I use a little tool for installing a screen to make my creases. That is a piece of cardboard on the floor there, and that just keeps it stiff and prevents it from making noises when the air is sucking. This is purpose-built pieces of sheet metal for the underpanning. They clip together. You put 3 feet in at a time. So right here, I'm just smoothing things out for the drive cleat on that transition. Further away from the furnace, you want to step down your main trunk lines to keep the velocity of the air moving fast. So the vents, the furthest away from the furnace, still have enough airspeed to come out and heat or cool that room. There, I'm just sticking a drive cleat in. Interesting method. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it and you see how they go together. It's very simple. Now here's how the two halves of a main trunk line go together. Line them up and tap them together, and they have little cleats built into them that make them stick together. They are a pain in the ass to separate, so make sure it's aligned properly before you tap it together, because once you screw up, you have to take the whole thing apart. It doesn't go together very easy, and you got to squeeze everything back together. It is a pain. Don't just don't make that mistake. So again, you can buy all this stuff in bulk at your local HVAC residential sheet metal supply place. Some require you to have a contractor's license or an HVAC license to sell to you. They're not open to the public. Alright, is this going to fit anything in my way? Yes, I see things in my way. Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? Nope. Nope. And try again, try again. There you go. Get your T-brace. Actually switched up my method later in the install. I was putting that hanger in the middle.
If you guys can see in there or not, but I'm just getting these lined up. I moved the brace back, and it's easy to get these lined up. And you can see it's not in the slot yet there. Just working it in. You see it's just starting to go into the slot. This piece here will slide all the way in, do a full overlap. These will be touching.
Using a screwdriver to get things aligned, to get that drive cleat on. So that's the end of the main supply trunk line. And as you can see, there's still the takeoffs coming out up top down the joists. And you gotta put in all your 6-inch ductwork. I use both 10-foot and 5-foot sections. There are certain areas where you just can't get a 10-footer up in there. You gotta cut it down and piece it together to get around beams and walls, things like that. If you got questions about installing trunk lines or anything like that, put them down below and I'll be sure to answer them in the next video. And that next video should be coming out Wednesday. You only have to wait one day for the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.